All right, now let's look at other chord qualities. So we have the four main chord qualities. We have major, minor, diminished, augmented. All right. Now there are other chord qualities and extensions. You can go beyond one, two, three. You can go from one, two, three. I mean one, three, five. You can go beyond that. Yes, you can, and that's when it gets a little bit more complex. But we wanna get it. So chord extensions. So we said this is the one, this is the three, five, seven. There is no eight. The same as this. But if you want to continue, if this is one, three, five, six, this is seven. The next one, nine. You jump one note, 11. You jump one note, 13. If you want to continue, I can add this one. That would technically have been 15. As in one, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, then becomes 15. But there's no 15. So it ends here. 13. So don't forget, the last number is 13. And why that? Why no 15? This is a repetition. If you look closely, all these ones are different, they are distinct. C, E, G, B, D, F, A. Once I add this C, it's the same as this. So we don't go further. So that's it. So the rule is what? Every other note, every other, that means you take one note, you jump. Take one note, you jump this, you come here. So then you jump this, you come here. 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 You jump this, then you come here, which is the same as this. So it ends here. So if this is C major, as we said earlier, if we continue, if I add one note, this, we call it a C major seventh, and it makes sense. You can see it over here in the display. So 1, 3, 5, 7. Then I jump this. Then I come here. Ninth. So C major ninth. And all this is along the major scale. So it only makes sense to call it that way. There is no sharp or flat. None of them. So you can do that. Major ninth, major 11th, and major 13th. C Major C because the first root is C. Major because it's along the major scale. And 13th because of how long it is. So C major 13th. C major 13th. So let's say I was in a different key. We'll go to playing the other keys, but if I was in a different key, if I was here, E major, major 7th, and that was an E major 13th. So that's just it for the major scale. Now let's come to the minor. The minor scale would also have that type of extension, but I don't want to go because we are going to cover scales and then the fingering and everything. So I don't want to cover that yet. But just understand that the rule for naming the notes, you take one, you skip, take one, skip. I mean, in the key. So these notes don't matter because we're talking about the white keys, just the C major scale. So when I skip one, I'm skipping in the key. They are diatonic in the major scale. So these ones do not matter. You get me? Alright. If we are on the same page, let me continue. So that's it. So for the minor scale, let's take every chord has its relative minor or relative major. But let me start from here. There is a scale known as the A minor scale, which is basically the same as the C major scale, but just start from here. If you want to find the relative minor, you just move 3 notes backwards from anywhere you are. So if you are here, if you are here, but I want to just use the white notes for you to get what I'm saying. So from here, please. So the A minor scale is also the white notes. I will get to scales. I just want to show you something. So from here, if this is the A, we are using only white notes, so there's no confusion at this point. So A, when you use the formula, you get an A minor scale. You can continue. 7th, you jump 1 note. 9th, 11th, and then that's it. You get an A minor 13th. The display is showing C major 13th. It's just about a semantical thing. But ideally, because when you move this note here, this is A. When you move it here, you get a C major 13th. So I think the display just making it so they've written C major 13th over A. But if I really wanted to call this, I'll call it an A minor 7th, minor 9th, minor 11th. If I add another note, it should be an A minor 13th. But the display shows something else. But you get what I'm saying. So that's it for minor chords. It's just the same thing. Just adding notes, stacking. One, skip. One, skip. One, skip, and then we continue. So now, for the diminished chord, I did say it is symmetrical. So this rule doesn't apply. It applies to every other chord, but for the diminished chord, it's a little different. One, there's just three. We just have to jump three notes. So here. So if you are here and you are good to go. So that is it with diminished chords. So this is the root. This is the third. This is the fifth. And surprisingly, this becomes your seventh. We call this a diminished seventh chord. You can see that I'm stacking notes continuously, and the notation is not changing. And the question is, why? Because it's just a repetition. It's just this symmetry on the piano. So this and this are the same thing. This C is the same as this one here. This E flat. But technically, this, you call this your root, you call this your third, your fifth. This becomes, we call it, this is not a seventh. This is a third. This is a minor third. This is a certain type of fifth. It's a diminished fifth. But this is not a seventh. Even though we call it a diminished seventh chord. So this is just very different. So you pay attention to this and you call this a double flat 7. Not a state. It's a state, but if you really want to be right about this naming, you call it a double flat 7. And that's just for the diminished chord. So this is the same as this, the same as this, and you can experiment if you are here. Because if I come to this note, it's just a stack of minor thirds. A stack of minor thirds. The diminished chord is a stack of minor thirds. It's a stack of minor thirds. A stack. So the very last one is the augmented chord. Let me go through the augmented still. So that's just it for extensions. Extensions. That's just it. And see you in the next